welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, the competition for Cosmo's Sexiest Man had some insanely hot candidates up for the coveted title, and we are so proud that our very own Dr. Fezile Mkhize took the crown as the sexiest man in the whole of Mzansi.
Thank you so much.
So, you know, after the cook-alongs, we usually have our chefs dining with us, but since it's Valentine's Day on Thursday, I thought I'd use this opportunity for this to be the date that you haven't asked me to go on with you.
Well, I mean, it's happened anyway. I mean, my wildest dreams right now. Wildest dreams. Can I
So yeah, please. So congratulations on winning the coveted title, Cosmo's Sexiest Man 2019. How did it go for you?
It was a bit crazy because, I mean, there's 12 of us who are there, and all the guys that are there are people who are doing great things in the industry. They all have kind of their essence or their sexiness about them. So it could be, or it could have been any one of them. I was just like really happy and blown away by the amount of support that I got, especially because I was wearing a Speedo. I would have thought that would have been like my downfall.
No,
like
that's your clincher right there.
Clearly people were saying that, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should wear one more often.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you don't even need I mean, that is perfect. You must train so hard. But I did see footage of you and Ryle, though, before you walked out. I saw you doing these push-ups where you were pushing up and then touching each other. Do you train hard?
I do, and it is very good to have him on the show because he's somebody who's like kind of very like-minded when it comes to fitness, and he's a gold medalist. So I mean, I'm always trying to at least try keep up with him because he's always just going out and competing so often. But speaking about sexy, and I have to tell the story because everybody needs to know. On Presenter Search on 3, right at the end when everybody was kind of giving critiques as to each person and what they liked, you, and I'm sure you're not going to remember this, but I do, and everybody at home, kind of said for the very first time on TV, anybody called me sexy. You're kind of like something. All I heard was, you're sexy. And I was like, what? And I'm pretty sure that's actually what made them put me on the cover. They're like, well, if Jeannie says you're sexy, then, I mean, we're going to put you on there. So to say thank you.
What?
Because I knew you were going to be on the show, and I was super excited. And before I give this to you, I was gonna actually, I was gonna frame my Speedo, and in the middle of me putting it into the frame, I kind of stopped, and I was like, you're putting in a used Speedo to give to the Jeannie D. What's wrong with you? So I just kind of held that back, and I decided to go with something a bit more kosher. And I wanted to say thank you for putting me on that road. It's one of exclusive shots of me looking very inappropriate.
Why are you wearing a Speedo in this one? I'm joking. I absolutely, Fez, I absolutely love it. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Wow. So, I mean, I have to tell you, I do remember calling you sexy that time because I also remember for your audition for your Top Billing Presenter Search, I remember when you walked in, you were wearing your scrubs, and immediately I said, when you walked out of the room, I said, yes, he's one of the winners, absolutely. And I knew immediately. How has your life changed since? How's Top Billing been treating you?
I think Top Billing's amazing. It's an iconic show. I mean, you've been on it. So many people that are household names have been on the show. So to be given that opportunity, it blows all of us. I mean, the league, all three of the guys that started out, it blows us away. And every single time we're on set, I always just kind of sit and think, you're like a doctor who was helping patients, literally, the other day. Now you're on one of the biggest shows in the country, and the road still blows me away. The fact that I have a title like this blows me away, and all I can really say is thank you to everybody at home, thank you to you and all the other judges that kind of gave us the mantle, and I've been trying to run with it.
Yeah, well, Top Billing loves you. And of course, thank you. So Top Billing is airing this weekend, of course, and all of the details on Fez's journey to becoming Cosmo's Sexiest Man will be on the show. I cannot wait to watch that. So we've had some intense, like really beautiful, in-depth conversations before about your life. And so I want everybody to know basically a lot more about the Fez behind the TV and of course, being the sexiest man. So you're a doctor. You still practicing?
Yes, I am. I always tell people that's like my anchor because everything that I do is kind of trying to help people and give of myself, so I'll never stop doing that in some sort of form.
Yeah, and what kind of medicine are you currently doing?
Currently kind of working in practices, so kind of doing a lot of the basic medicines, kind of helping people with things like lactose intolerance, explaining that to people, but also operating to keep my skills, because I'm still going to finish my speciality time, and it is something I love doing. cutting people open and helping them.
Well, one of the most fascinating conversations that we've actually ever had, I remember we were discussing it in reunion, and I was asking you about, you're a surgeon. What was it like, the first operation you ever did, and doing that first incision on a person? Oh, that must have been, the pressure must have been unreal. If you can do that, you can do anything.
No, I actually have to tell you, because I'd kind of operated, and I remember the first time I operated, it was like an appendix. It was a very small cut. There was a time where I was working cardiothoracics, and the first time I saw chest open, that blew me away. Because the heart is beating, and you cut through the bone, and you're like, okay, just don't cut through the heart, because it's a big sore. And then when you eventually open up the retractors, and you just see the heart beating, I mean, yeah, I just kind of stared at it for a second, and I looked up because it was my lead surgeon. I was assisting, and I was like, thank you that you're here, because I would not know what to do. It's like the most intimidating thing, but it's also exhilarating because you know what you're about to do is life-saving. When you're working with a thing like a heart, it's somebody's life, you're improving it just exponentially from that 1 6-hour go. So yeah, I fell in love with it.
What a tremendous responsibility to be a surgeon, and I think it's something that you're born to do that. Wow, what an absolute gift. Absolutely. Do you think that you've got like an extraordinary calm and a control over your mind and your breath, that when you go into nervous situations, you can just focus better than your average person?
Listen, I'm speaking right now on live TV while Jeannie's here, so you can clearly see that I've kind of been flexing my handling nerves thing. But I think it's just, once you've seen enough of it, because you go through internship and like community service, you kind of realize that you are somebody who's there to help somebody when they're at their worst point. And you realize that that is a great amount of responsibility, but you want to make sure that when they do have that contact with you, especially when I see somebody, it's to calm them and then give them that surety that I have actually studied for long enough and I can actually help you.
Well, you've definitely put my heart at ease today. Thank you so much for being here on the show. You were unbelievable. Sadly, we're off air tomorrow and for the next 3 days due to cricket. But do not worry, we are back with some riveting conversations and extraordinary guests next week, Monday. Goodbye and God bless. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Happy Valentine's Day!
Happy Valentine's Day.